Hi, everybody. I am glad to be on the call with you today. Just want to give you a quick update about what's going on at Kilauea volcano. So the eruptions are still continuing from the two sites at both the summit and in the lower East Rift Zone. And the lower East Rift Zone vents have activity has started to move from the furthest eastern vents, and it started to kind of go back towards the west. So we're still seeing a little bit of activity, which is the vent that's furthest to the east. So at 17, I think I said 17, but here we are again, 17. The fountaining is very low at that vent, and there is no progression of the flow front, so it's still just in the same location that it has been on our maps for several days. Moving a little bit to the west, 22 is active, 19 is active, 6, and then 5 or 13 in that area, and 23. So overnight and into the morning, we're seeing just a really long line of low fountains occurring from these fissures. Number 22 seems to still have the main focus of activity, with heights going up to, again, about 200 feet above the vent level for the fountain heights. And then the fountains a little bit further to the west from there are producing heights of closer to 60 feet or so, 60 to 100 feet. And the lava flows from those are issuing towards the south, and the ocean entry is still active. It has started to propagate towards the west. So there's a wide swath of abandoned ocean entry channel on the eastern edge of where the ocean entry is now. There are the area to the north of the active fissure line is relatively blocked by there's spatter ramparts. So it's like walls of lava that get built up as the fountains are bubbling out and shooting up the spatter, and the spatter's landing on this wall. So it's creating a kind of a blockade from lava moving to the north in the areas, at least through the 2019-6 fissure area. And moving to the summit, we saw an explosion last night at just after 10 p.m. that pushed up ash plume to about 8,000 or 9,000 feet above sea level. That was captured in radar imagery. Sometime this week, we're going to get some more detection equipment installed at the summit. There's going to be an antenna that will capture electric charges, so that will help us to determine what's going on in the plume. I don't have a whole lot of information about that, so I won't be able to answer specific questions. And I'm not sure when that will be coming, but that's just another way that we're going to be detecting the summit activity. Earthquakes at the summit are still elevated, and the summit is still subsiding. There are explosive events that push up the plume at least 2 times a day, and people will be experiencing ash fall downwind. There are smaller explosive events that are also occurring intermixed in between there, and they are still producing ash, so there's just kind of it's not a continuous outpouring of ash, but there's just pulses of more vigorous ash and less vigorous ash that's coming out of the summit. And then, going back down to the lower East Rift Zone, the earthquake activity it's pretty stable. It's just continuing on about the same rate that we have been seeing over the past few days. And deformation is showing that the rift zone is not inflating per se or deflating, but it is widening to accommodate the magma beneath the system. That's it for the geologic update.
Thank you, Wendy. Yesterday you spoke briefly about the methane explosions, and since then we've gotten quite a few emails from reporters asking about methane explosions and about the blue flames that we posted on our Facebook page. Could you very briefly say something about that again today? I think some of those people may be listening on the line.
Yeah, sure. So when methane burns, it burns with these blue flames. So you see an image on our website and on our Facebook page that's showing these blue flames. They're coming up through road cracks. So what's going on is that when lava interacts with a vegetated ground surface, it's going to burn the ground surface, burn the vegetation, and that causes methane gas to form. The methane gas will flow through the ground, through cracks that are already existing, and will come up wherever there is a place for them to come up. So in the instance of the images on our website, they're coming up through cracks in the road. People have seen them, these blue flames in vegetated areas that are several feet away from the fronts of the lava flows, and they're definitely something to be aware of, because if the methane gets trapped underground and it's ignited, then it can cause a very large explosion, which will throw blocks several meters away from the location from the explosion site.